All right. Good morning and welcome to Hawaii State Ethics Commission. Today is January 21st and the time is 9 o'clock. A few administrative announcements. Please turn off your cell phones. And if you have to be recognized, raise your hand. I see we only have, yeah, we have two from the public. Okay. With that, I'm going to have a roll call, and then I'm going to ask Robert to recite the proviso.
Sure. So if you can please indicate if you're participating, indicate your presence, and if you're participating remotely, you can state whether anyone else is present with you or at your remote location. So starting with Commissioner Hall.
Present.
Commissioner Thielen.
Present and alone.
Commissioner Becker.
I'm here.
Commissioner Gray.
Present and alone.
Thank you. My name is Robert Harris. I am present in the conference room. Recognizing chair. Chair, are you present?
I'm present, but I'm not alone.
Okay. All right. Recognizing he's in the conference room. My name is Robert Harris. I'm also present in the conference room, and then joined with me is Administrative Assistant Vom Voris. Joining remotely are Compliance Director Chang, Enforcement Director Campbell, Staff Attorneys Yamanuha is not present, apologies, and Yi. And we have investigators Elster and Gash, Computer Specialist Fui. Even though this is an in-person meeting, please be aware that all meeting participants are being recorded on the digital record of the Zoom meeting, which will be posted to our website and used to create official minutes. Your participation is implied consent to be part of the public record of this event. If you do not wish to be a part of the record, please exit the meeting now. For any members of the public who may be joining us remotely, if the Commission's video conference connection is lost during the meeting, we will recess the meeting and reconvene after the connection is restored. Please check the Commission's website, ethics.hawaii.gov, for information about reconnecting to the meeting. If the meeting is continued to a later date or terminated, information about this will be posted on our website. Chair, I don't actually see anybody who is a member of the public. Candace Park is our Deputy AG, and obviously Moya is our new Commissioner. So I think we are ready to start.
Thank you very much. First on the agenda, I'd like to introduce our new commissioner and congratulate her in joining our family here of ethics. Moya Gray, Miss Gray. Well, I'll call you Moya. Moya, Moya, you want to say a few words? First of all, tell us a little something about where you're coming from and then any salutations you may have.
Well, good morning, everybody, and thank you for welcoming me. I really appreciate it. Well, in terms of where I'm coming from, I have a long history with government employment, and I think the latest employment I was with the Senate, State of Hawaii, as a temporary person working during session. And the reason for the temporary was because I am also a caregiver for my husband, who is a quadriplegic. So I'm at home quite often taking care of him. But I do have other background with the government, including Office of Information Practices and externally with the Volunteer Legal Services. I'm also currently a board member with the Handweavers Hui Hawaii. And that's who I am.
Well, welcome.
Thank you.
I'm sure you're going to enjoy your 4 years of preserving the ethics of our community and of our government. So welcome aboard.
Thank you.
Okay.
This is a question. Should we introduce ourselves?
Oh, the question is, should we introduce ourselves? Do you want to know us?
Well, I think you're chair next to you. Yes, please do introduce yourselves.
I'm going to start with myself. I'm Wesley Fong, and I'm the chair. And
nice to meet you.
What I do, I teach law at the university now. I had a long history of government service as a AG's office, corp counsel, etc. And I'm 30 years military. I'm
Mm.
retired as a colonel. And the next in line.
Rob Hong. I'm a retired cardiologist. I did a lot of medical administrative roles as chief of staff of Queens and a bunch of different things. I'm now a professor emeritus at John A. Burns School of Medicine, and was a professor for years and did crazy stuff like that.
Next in line would be Cynthia Thielen.
Sure. I'm Cynthia Thielen, as you know, and I spent 30 years in the legislature, wonderful years, and then also was an attorney representing various community groups such as the Protect Kaho'olawi Ohana. And I understand they're having the year-long celebration this year, which is wonderful. I'm hoping once my foot heals that I'll be able to go to one of those events.
Congratulations.
Thanks.
And Rod.
Okay. Hi, Moya. I'm Rod Becker. So I work at the State Department of Budget and Finance on the state's treasury functions. I'm no longer the newest member of the commission.
But maybe you're
And that's
still
who-
the youngest.
Again, thank you, everybody, and welcome aboard, Moya. Looking forward to
Thank
meet you in person in February. Next on the agenda is the election of officers. I believe we have two positions that we have to fill. One is a chair and the other is a vice chair. So at this time, I'll open the nominations for chair.
I nominate Wesley Fall.
Any other nominations? Since I'm the only candidate, I'm gonna turn the gavel over to the no senior person, and he can how would you want to do this? Just by
The roll call.
roll call? Okay, we'll do it by roll call since I'm doing the candidate, so you can call for the roll call.
Okay. So roll call. I guess we should start off with Rod. Aye. Ms. Thielen,
Aye.
Ms. Gray,
Aye.
and I vote aye. So that gives you 5 more months, Wes.
Don't I get the vote?
Oh, no, you don't get to vote for yourself.
Okay.
I don't know. Is there?
All right.
Somebody can do Robert's rule of
We will call it unanimous.
unanimous.
Thank you. And I want to thank you for the vote of confidence. Moya, I'm going on my second term. And
Wow.
I'll be gone by, I hope you'll be here before I go, but I'll be gone by July. July.
That's your last term. Yeah,
My last month. But it's been a very, very rewarding experience. Very rewarding. Especially having worked for government so long. Well, we have a job to do. So thank you very much. Now I'm going to open it up for nominations for the position of vice chair. And if I may, I'd like to nominate, and it only makes logical sense, and he's got a lot of experience. He's the next oldest person. It's Dr. Hogg. Any other nominations? Okay, then I will call for a roll call vote.
Here, you can have your gavel.
Roll call, I guess I'm first, right? Or no? No, I guess.
Since you're chair, we'll put you
Yeah.
last. So Commissioner Thielen,
Aye.
Commissioner Becker,
Aye.
Commissioner Gray.
Aye.
Chair.
Chair votes aye, and would you like to vote?
No, but I think we should probably, in the future have a private vote.
We'll call that unanimous, and I'm glad that Commissioner Hong is going to be the vice chair, because he and I actually quote unquote started off together. My second term, his first term. So, and I am glad to hear that he will be reapplying and hopefully be back on board. So, can take over the gavel. Anyway, congratulations to Commissioner Hong. Okay, with that, let's continue on. Consideration and approval of the minutes of November 19th, 2025.
Chair.
Yes.
The Deputy AG Candace Park has a question.
Hi,
Yes.
I don't have a question. I just want to remind the commission that all the commissioners should be visible.
They are all visible as they're speaking. Are you basically indicating we should have the camera on for everybody for the commission meeting room?
Well, the last I thought, are you saying that when Commissioner I'm sorry, the youngest one speaks that we have to show him?
No, I think we have.
So Commissioner Becker is here in the commission meeting room, and so when he speaks, the camera shifts to him.
Okay. Okay, I didn't see that happen the last time he spoke, but I'll watch out for that then. Sorry, thank you.
That's okay, Candace. I'll vouch for the fact we have everybody visible. Okay. Thank you for that observation. See, they missed you, Rod. Yeah. Anyway, moving right along. Consideration and approval of the minutes of November 19, 2025. I entertain a motion to approve. First of all, are there any corrections to the minutes? Any corrections from or any input from the public? Okay, I'll entertain a motion that we approve.
I so move.
Moved by Commissioner Thielen. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Commissioner Hall. Discussion? Not? Roll call.
Commissioner Hall.
Aye.
Commissioner Thielen.
Aye.
Commissioner Becker.
Aye.
Chair.
Chair votes aye. All right. Next on the agenda, consideration and approval of the Sunshine Executive Session minutes of November 19th, 2025. Are there any corrections? Okay. If no corrections, then I'll ask for a motion to approve.
I move.
Moved by Commissioner Thielen.
Second.
Seconded by Commissioner Becker. Discussion? Not? Roll call.
Just for the record, Commissioner Gray, just because you weren't present, I'm not including you in the vote, not
Of
to
course.
admit you in any way.
No,
Sorry. Commissioner Hall.
Aye.
Commissioner Thielen.
Aye.
Commissioner Becker.
Aye.
Chair.
Chair votes aye. There's no objections. Motion's carried. Next on the agenda, Director's report.
If I can turn over the discussion and training schedule to Ms. Chang, please.
Good morning, commissioners. For the training statistics for state boards, we have about 97% compliance overall. For tier 1 public boards, we have
I'm sorry,
97%.
what was the percentage? 97%? Wow.
And then for public boards, which are the tier 1 officials, the large boards like BLNR, we have about a 99% compliance. And that's based on our training records through December 31st. And this represents about 800 or so board members out of the 837 total board filers. For agencies, we have about 93% compliance based on the data that's reported by agencies in early December. This is roughly 57,000 state employees on average, depending on vacancies. And as I explained before, and this is more for background for Commissioner Gray, these statistics are more like a snapshot in time because data is constantly changing, especially at the agency side as new people are hired and people leave. So we continue to work with agencies, to collect and track their information, which can be, somewhat labor intensive due to the decentralized nature of state human resources office and learning management systems. But we continue to kind of coordinate with agencies to conduct spot checks and audits. And we also follow up with individual board members and their board administrators as necessary for compliance purposes. For our focus this year, however, will be more on the substantive aspects of training and education. Our priority, especially between now and the end of April, will be to update the self-guided training to comply with new federal ADA requirements to make sure that the anything that's posted on our website or that's accessible to the public is able to be read by special software and readers programs. So this will involve most of our information is pretty much compliant, but we want to make sure that it's kept up with the modern requirements. So we're going to be going through all of our online modules, ethics guides, quick guides that are posted on our website to make sure that it's fully compliant. And there's I think a specific deadline in April. So we're working really hard to, aim for that requirement. Meanwhile, on the disclosures aspects of our work, financial disclosures for legislators are due February 2nd. It's normally the 31st, but this year that lands on a weekend, so we usually bump it to the next business day. So staff and all the attorneys have been fielding calls from legislators to assist them with filing their disclosures or reaching out to legislators just in terms of assisting them as to what information needs to be reported. So we're going to be pretty busy, especially as session gets underway with disclosures and training in general. So if there's any questions, I'll be glad to answer it.
No, I like to first congratulate you. 97%. That's why I said I didn't hear that correctly. Moya, what we did was we gave Bonita I decided to give her a kind of a target number. We started at 70, it was
85.
85.
And he kept going up.
She exceeded that. So
no more.
Well, look, I want to go one step further, 90, and then I stopped there. So 97, I mean, it's like perfect. I wish my class at university could have 97s, but anyway, that's another story. But congratulations. And so now we don't have no government employee or anybody on our jurisdiction should have any questions about being educated, right?
That's our goal.
All right. They can't make the excuse, I didn't know. Okay, good. Congratulations. Any comments from the commissioners?
Congratulations. That's a hard number to reach, and you've done a great job.
Thank you.
Thank you. If not, thank you. Next.
If I can turn it over to Enforcement Director Key to talk about the enforcement statistics.
Sure. So this is on page 25. Basically, you can see for year's end, we've essentially closed what's come in. So the main ones would be 394 complaints received and 392 closed. And then gifts and travel, 445 received, 447 closed. And that's essentially 447 letters that the staff sent to people advising them whether or not their trips were acceptable. I think pretty good for on the year. In terms of what's coming up, so we are working on enhanced statistics. Patrick is going to be adding extra buttons to SharePoint, and basically on a quarterly basis, we're going to add the information you had last time with some enhancements going forward. So we're looking forward to doing the enhanced statistical reporting on an ongoing basis starting in April for the first quarter in January.
Okay, thank you. Any questions from commissioners? Anybody outside of the public?
No, nobody, no member of the public.
Oh, okay.
And then just
Go ahead.
briefly, if you don't mind, we do have our Q2 financial report in there. I don't know if there's anything particularly noteworthy. We are on track. We're under budget. The travel costs are a little bit high, but that's reflecting the COBOL expenses. So that was anticipated. So again, if there's any particular specific questions, happy to answer them, but again, we're well on track. As just a brief office note, as you probably are aware, we had a flood in the office. A water line appeared to have broken approximately 2 weeks ago on a Sunday night. And so Monday morning, there was probably about an inch to inch and a half of water in the conference room, and most of the offices, individual offices, were flooded. Offices next door on both sides were flooded, as well as the water leaked 2 floors down. So we have been in the process of drying out everything. Credit to Douglas Emmett for responding quickly and vacuuming up a lot of the immediate water, and then we had blowers put in immediately to try to prevent any mold. And so our hope is by this Friday we will have the baseboards put back in and moved back in place. Hopefully, be largely back in order. I do want to specifically recognize the staff for reacting quickly, and Carolyn Choi, our office manager in particular, who's been helping manage this project on top of everything else that goes on. And hopefully, this will be a brief note in our history, but it has definitely been an impact on staff.
Well, thank you to the staff. I came in and I saw the blowers outside. Were those blowers in here before?
So we had the blowers going for about a week and a half.
Wow.
Most of the attorneys and investigators could work remotely, but we saw the front office staff working in with the blowers in their gear. So, kudos to them for suffering through that.
Well, thank you very much, and unfortunate. More of a pragmatic question. Candace, you're our Deputy Attorney General. You remember I was the supervising Deputy Attorney General for the state in charge of tort litigation. Will our Attorney General's office be defending this, or we have insurance, or does it come out of our budget?
I don't know. Robert, did you speak with risk management?
So the state of Hawaii is self-insured, and we've been working with risk management on it. So far, we don't have any specifics to provide on what that might look like.
And that could not come out of our budget, right? Candace?
I'm sorry, I don't know the answer to that.
I hope the answer is no. I said, I hope the answer is no, because I don't believe it was due to our negligence. But I'm going to leave it up to the Attorney General's office. You do have a litigation division there, so. Any questions for
on a safety measure? Is there going to be cultures from mold or anything or remediation looked at in the future?
Thank you for that question. We have had an on-site remediation team that's been helping with the drying, and they've been actively testing the drywall for moisture content and have been actively looking at it. So we're sort of relying on their expertise. We were actually able to dry the walls relatively quickly. There's just been one wall in particular that's been problematic. So, I on it. We are relying on their professional experience.
Thank you.
Did everybody hear that question?
Yes.
That was a very good question, because I remember when my condos did the same thing, got flooded. And they went in and said, you can't live in there. It's bad, molds, whatever. So we're okay then for the staff so far. We do have a doctor named, but no, I'm serious.
I know.
I hope
nothing about mold.
But I'm serious about, I hope that, we get a clear bill of health. Because you don't want to have your staff our staff be here, then, well, get sick, period.
Staff health has been a key priority. We've indicated that all along. My understanding is that they are attempting to try to get the walls dry within 48 hours. That's certainly key litmus factor for mold. And we'll definitely make sure that any follow-up tests are done as needed.
So the DAGs give us the bill, the go sign, and then we're okay to stay here.
So we are not under.
We're not under
specifically because, again, this is a private office. So
Oh.
we've been working with the landlord, Douglas Emmett, who's been overseeing all the remediation, and they've separately hired a remediation team to come in to make sure that everything is addressed as need be. So they've been, we've had two different teams coming in to assess the walls and to assess the water content. So, you know, a reasonably high comfort level if the water's been extracted. And, you know, again, I think we do need to follow up with regards to mold exposure. I think it's a good follow-up question. But to date, the remediation teams have not seemed terribly concerned about it.
So basically, they're saying it's safe for our staff to be here after the incident.
Correct. I think based on the speed at which the water was
Okay,
extracted.
thank you. Thanks for that question.
Um,
Okay, anything else?
I have one question. Was there
Yeah.
any damage to the computer or electrical system?
Fortunately, and very little, all our computers, et cetera, were off the ground. There was one UPS device that was impacted, a universal power supply. But from a technology perspective, relatively little impact.
Great. Thank you.
Any other questions? Okay, yes. Item number 6. All right, yeah,
Ready to go.
media.
So item number 6 is discussion of media reports concerning ethics or the Ethics Commission since the last meeting. As a refresher, this is a standing item to give the commission an opportunity to talk about new topics that may have come up very recently. I will note, however, some of the media topics are specific to investigations or cases we've had, which normally we would not discuss on, you know, any public meeting. So I will flag the articles, but I'll just caution, particularly if it's concerning an investigation that we may or may not have had. It's something that by statute, we're not allowed to talk about. Just briefly, some of the articles that popped up on my radar. November 20th, there was a citizen portal article talking about the reappointment of Sheldon Jim on to the Honolulu Ethics Commission. November 24th, Hawaii Free Press covered our enforcement cases against Hawaiian Electric and Senator DeCoit. November 27th, also Hawaii Free Press covered the appointment of Moya Gray. Congratulations. November 30th, the Civil Beat did the same in their Sunshine blog. December 5th, KITV and the Star Advertiser both covered the enforcement action against Senator Awa. December 7th, Hawaii News Now had also coverage of the Awa enforcement and Senator Awa's response. Also Hawaii Free Press similarly. December 12th, the Guardian Press also covered the Senator Awa enforcement matter. December 24th, Civil Beat had a coverage on a public reporting on tax delinquents. And they had a quote from myself about the financial disclosure requirements of state employees and legislators. December 25th had HBR coverage on the appointment of Commissioner Gray. December 26th, Big Island News, Big Island Now also had the same. On January 4th was a big day. Civil Beat had coverage of Commissioner Thielen and her decades of public service and her current status on the Ethics Commission. The Civil Beat column about access to transparency data was published, specifically talking about the data on our website and the difficulty in covering it more broadly or getting data accessible to citizens more generally. Civil Beat also had an ethics complaint or an article covering ethics complaints about ethics boards, and it covered a national article talking about attacks on ethics commissions more broadly. Finally, on January 16th, Hawaii Free Press covered the fact, the Judicial Council is looking for applicants to apply to the Ethics Commission. And then there was a Civil Beat article written by Mike Lilly about the Maui Ethics Board's transformation.
Okay. Comprehensive. Any questions? From the commissioners? Thank you. Next on the agenda, summary discussion of government activities.
So I would like to invite, so as you may recall, the Council on Government Ethics and Law, Hawaii is one of the founding members. It is a international association of agencies, predominantly at the state or county level, focused on good governance generally. They have an annual conference, which 5 of our members participated in. And I thought this would be a good opportunity just to do a quick relay of that conference and anything they may have picked up from that conference that they would like to share more broadly. This year's conference was held in Atlanta in early December. And I would like to open the floor. People would like to talk about things that they learned or would like to share. You do have staff who can also do it if you want someone else to start first.
Let me start off. Attending, we call Kogo. Boy, it's called Kogo. I don't know.
She's been before.
She's been. Oh, all right.
Many years.
Yeah, it still baffles me why we have to go to the coldest part of the country during winter, but I found out why. But then I think everybody knows. But it was another very rewarding experience. What I learned was that I think we do more and we know more than many of the other ethic commissions throughout the United States. And what I learned was what we're doing is, really right on the ball. I'm putting it very broadly, so I'm leaving it up to everybody else what they've learned. So I would say, it's good to really touch bases with a lot of the other ethic commissioners throughout the United States and Canada and even South America. We have a couple other countries, but it's very rewarding. And I gotta admit, I've never been to Atlanta before, and I think once is enough, but that's beside the point. So I'm gonna ask the other commissioner who went, and that was Rod.
I had many of the same takeaways. Going there and meeting the other commissions across the country, I guess made me appreciate where we are as a state and the efforts of to move our own lines further. So I think we're doing fairly well. It was informative. The one session I thought was pretty good, but needed more development. So they said they'd come back later with a better session. It was the one on procurement and ethics, because I do think there's room for improvement on that front. So
I'm gonna go through the staff. Let's see who is there. Rob, do you want to go forward or do you want to let them go first?
Why don't we let Ian Medina, you guys want to share?
Sure. Yeah, so I mean, I thought going to Kogel was really useful to keep up with the trends in terms of specific things. I think someone from California at one of the panels was an investigator. I thought he gave a great panel on enforcement procedures and investigative plans. I think that's something we can look into. Additionally, there were other states that had speeding ticket laws, California specifically, and I think doing some investigation into that is an area we can look into when developing administrative rules on those laws. And then I was also surprised. I did not know there are other jurisdictions that have pre-employment restrictions, and I think that's worth looking into as we proceed with those types of legislation proposals. So those are the specifics.
Bonita?
Yes, overall, I thought the conference was, very insightful and helpful. I attended most of the training and education tracks, as well as some of the sessions for the enforcement and investigations, which was really useful from a practical and pragmatic perspective. I think the Kogel conference planners have been trying to do more hands-on training, especially for newer members, whether it be through the conference or through their throughout the year. They have these monthly webinars, what they call Kogo Connects, which are also very good resource opportunities for learning. I attended one of the sessions on staying the course midst of all this political upheaval and uncertainty that's happening in terms of democratic institutions. So I thought that was like a good overall broad perspective sessions. But I think from our standpoint, it would be nice to have more of the pragmatic, hands-on, skill-based type of session. I think my part of my conference survey responses was to suggest more of those real world experiences that people can take back to their agencies, like, for example, how to conduct investigations, interviews, handle administrative hearings, like real more nuts and bolts, I think, where newer members can take back and then more senior experienced agencies can share that kind of information and experience. So I think that's what I had suggested as part of my feedback, and hopefully they'll take that and incorporate that this year.
Echoing everybody else's comments, it's always a good opportunity to pick up a lot of individual tips, just even from other organizations and what they're doing. And I have a whole list of different little notes that I have for myself of things to look into to follow up on. The one perhaps I thought most enlightening, we enforce the fair treatment law as to social media. So the use of state resources as being used for social media development is frequently legislators in particular that we focus on. We've talked about in the past that we probably need a broader state social media policy in general. However, in the absence of that, we've sort of been stuck trying to tell legislators what they can or can't post. They can't use state resources, for example, to run a political campaign. They can't use state resources to favor a specific business, without potentially violating the fair treatment law. And so one of the presentations actually also talked about that in general, but also talked about a recent U.S. Supreme Court that I was case that I was unaware of, applying broader transparency, OIP-like requirements on a constitutional basis to legislators' individual private postings or social media to the extent that they talk about anything going on during the state. A long-winded way of saying, I think it's probably good for maybe us, if we can't get someone else to help do it, develop a better best practices document, specifically maybe targeted towards legislators or high-level employees about sort of here's things that you should be cautious about doing or not doing, particularly if you're using state resources in posting stuff to social media. I would also like to indicate that the incoming president of Kogol did reach out because we had some interesting conversations about training and programming in general, and actively solicited us to write up specific comments that they'd like to try to incorporate into programming and invite us to be more involved in the programming committee going forward. So some of the comments that Benita made about more hands-on training skill set, we talked about maybe trying to reform the ethics update and some of the update programs, which tend to be not as useful, and maybe try to make them a little bit more targeted, specific. So more to come.
Good. I want to congratulate or thank Steve, because we and I were in a session, I guess it's called Ethics Updates, and they recognize Hawaii in regards to one of our cases. I forgot which case it was. Was the Alpha case or one of them? And he gave a good explanation of what we did, and hopefully the other commissioners learned. I had just two things that I said I'm a little disappointed in regards to this Kogo. Number one is I didn't hear anybody from this, the Federal Ethics Commission, if there is one, about what they're doing. But anyway, that'll probably take the whole conference. The second is I'm a little disappointed that they didn't invite any of our staff to be on any of the panels. It was, I think, our staff could pretty much educate a lot of the other commissions of what we do and how well we do it. So that would be my only two takeaway that I thought, well, that was a little disappointed. So with that in mind, maybe you can talk to Christie and says, hey, kids, we're doing everything right. You know, I mean, maybe we should, say, hey, what are we doing? And tell everybody what we're doing. Maybe they can learn from us. There's a little pride, but anyway, that's one I take away. Any questions? Moya, next year is going to be Denver.
Perfect. I wanted to add I wanted to add something about the Kogel conference. My predecessor, Katie Callahan, helped to create sessions here in Hawaii. And, we all talked about having more Kogel in Hawaii. However, it's too expensive for their budgets. So the only real thing you can do is change the date because it gets warmer in other parts of the US. But Kogel is an incredible opportunity for everybody to get together and to understand the challenges and the opportunities. I think Hawaii has been in the forefront primarily because of our CONCON, which created OIP and other offices. But we have this really great network of good governance agencies. And I think it's important to keep those agencies strong, especially at this time. So that's all I wanted to say.
Thank you. And by the way, for information, we're the oldest, I believe, ethics commission in the United States. We're over 50 years or over 50. Yeah, so. All right, moving right along. Anything else? Any questions? Let's see, number 7. 8. Legislative proposals.
Yes, so this might be the quietest we have about legislative proposals until upcoming months. Our bills that were approved by the commission have been submitted to the legislature. The Senate has introduced them as Senate Bills 2244 through Senate Bill 2248. The House has not yet introduced them, but I presume at the next meeting we will have a vigorous discussion of our bills as well as other bills impacting the Ethics Commission. As you may know, Holy Day is today, and so expect a lot more information next meeting, essentially. I don't have anything specific to get into necessarily, but I'm happy to answer any questions folks have. Okay.
We resubmitted our nepotism bill, amended it, I guess. Hopefully that'll pass.
That is Senate Bill 2244, and the House bill number will come out soon. They have 10 days, I think, to introduce them. So yes, that is introduced.
Good. Well, I hope that the House does adopt it. The Senate has no problem with the nepotism bill. The House had a problem. So hopefully we'll cross our fingers that it'll go through. Any questions from the commissioners? Okay, item number 9, consideration adoption legislative delegation policy.
We did talk about this last meeting 2 months ago. We've had essentially a unofficial policy about legislative delegation and delegation essentially to staff to submit testimony. And that based on some of our conversations with other agencies, we thought it'd be a good idea to put this into writing. There were concerns about the draft that we had last meeting. So this is an attempt to address some of those concerns in the proposal, which is attachment number 8 on page 32. It is a bit simpler and a little bit more direct. The intent really is to make sure that substantive policy matters and discussions are brought to the commission for discussion. However, within the context of past testimony, past policy, or positions we've already taken on bills, allowing us to submit testimony in sort of a fast, efficient manner, recognizing how fast the legislature session goes by. Happy to answer any questions or open up the floor for input on it.
Any questions for the commissioners?
Chair?
Commissioner Thielen.
I appreciate the narrowing of that authority. And I was hoping Commissioner Becker or Rod, are you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Yeah. Oh, you're looking at, all right, sorry.
There he is.
Looking straight at you. Are you comfortable with this now?
Yeah, I think the way it's drafted now makes sense and it's practical and allows our executive director to advocate for the bills we want passed.
Okay, yeah, yeah, I appreciate the narrowing of it because the former one, I felt it sort of took away our need to even exist. So this one is much, much better phrased. Thank you, Chair.
Actually, thank you, Commissioner Thielen. You're the one who initiated it, and we call it the pay for play bill, and I think it's way overdue. And good luck. Bring your brown bag next session.
So I do read this to allow Robert to have some flexibility.
Yeah.
Right. As long as it's generally aligned with what the commission has done in the past.
So you're satisfied with it?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Thank you for massaging it. Is a good word.
So I think we would need a motion to approve it, Chair, respectfully.
Approve.
The legislative delegation policy.
Oh, okay. We need a motion to approve the legislative delegation policy. Moved by Commissioner Hong. Is there a second?
Second.
Seconded by Commissioner Moore.
Gray.
Gray, I'm sorry. Gray, any discussion? If not, roll call.
Commissioner Hong. Aye. Commissioner Thielen.
Aye.
Commissioner Becker.
Aye.
Commissioner Gray.
Aye.
Chair.
Chair votes aye, no objections, motion is carried. Thank you. I believe that's all we have in this agenda. All right, so I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Moved by Commissioner Hong. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Commissioner Becker. The time is now 9:49. All in favor, best. Do we know?
I think you could just do
All right, my understanding, if it's unanimous, anybody object that we adjourn? How's that? All right, motion's carried. Let's take a 5 minutes. Is that all you guys need? Let's get back at 9:55.